Okay, since last week I spent a lot of time sewing, mostly things I can't show you. One, because I'm wearing it. Actually, what I'm wearing is that I made is an underdress, and I already had the skirt part. It was in all the stuff that Nana brought over the summer, and it was a skirt that somebody else had cut the waistband off of, so it was just the skirt. So I sewed a quick knit bodice tank top type part for that, and then sewed the skirt into that. So now I'm wearing layers for winter. And another thing I made that I can't show you is a thank you gift for the kiddo's teacher, which has already been given. And then the other thing I sewed was this Loud shirt, which has toothpaste on it, for the kiddo himself. And he has already worn it to school again, that's why it has toothpaste on it. So I had enough cloth, enough square yardage to make it, but not enough linear yardage, so I had to piece this sleeve together, and that's why I went ahead and put this decorative contrast stripe in it. So we'll call that a design element out of desperation. I do that a lot. So, dolls! I have been going through the stuff that Musical Meows and Candy Lemons sent. Thank you again. That is... box is kind of overwhelming. I did stuff with some of the first dolls that grabbed my attention, and then I put some other things together that's going to need a little work to get going, and I got everything put away. So there's a lot. My box of bodies and heads and stuff has, it was kind of, the level was kind of dropping, but now it's been replenished. Thank you. I have projects that will probably be able to last me all winter now. I mean, I did before, but I probably wasn't going to do them, but now I have so much that I need to get back to work. So, what did I put together? Well, not completely finished is this bend leg midge head on a standard midge and Barbie body. She had scuffs of paint and dirt on her face, and it turned out this paint and dirt cleaned off really easily, but it turned out she also had a slight red stain on her nose and even smaller bit on her cheek. But I put just the smallest amount of 10% benzoyl peroxide acne cream on those and left her in the sun for 2 days. And it's completely gone. It came right off. There might have been some on her lips. Someone might have tried to fix her lipstick themselves. But I don't mind, at least for now, how her lips look. So I need to paint her lips, and I will probably paint them a little fuller than her original lip paint was. And I'm not sure if I'll touch up her eye paint. It's a little faded at the top. Although, you know me, if I do, I'm probably going to go all out and give her brown eyes. And John recommended to me the kind of glue that he likes to use for fixing neck splits. I haven't found it yet. So this is going to be a long-term project. And I need to find a ribbon to put back in her hair, because she still does have her perfect curl. So that was nice that that stain came off of her nose and cheek in only 2 days. So it wasn't much of a stain at all. And then just going through and putting heads and bodies together. Like Music Meows and Candy Lemons sent the Hairdorables Bella, which I put on this Briar Horse Rider kid body. Kid in quotes, because it has a bit of bust. So it's not the most kid-like kid body, but it is fairly small. And really, the more I looked at Hairdorables, like I said when I opened the box, this is the first Hairdorables I've had in any way. The more I look at them, the less I think they are little kids. Mainly because of their perfect eyeliner wings. So I think she's suited to this kid but not kid body. Which I don't have a lot of stuff that fits this size. This is a dress I made for Bratz in like 2007. And then the shoes have, say, Chelsea on the bottom, so those are Barbie's little sister's shoes. And the dress is actually a little big for this body. Monster High stuff fits around this body, but the torso is way too long. And the scarf is on because the neck is a little long with this head. But, so, that I think worked out. I just heated the head up and popped it on the body. There was no modification needed. And one of the dolls that Music Meows and Candy Lemons sent was a Project MC Squared Adrienne, I've never watched the show, I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm pretty sure it's Adrienne's head on a gymnast Barbie body. And at first, I admit, I just kind of completely overlooked it. Mainly because the hair had been cut off, obviously it was going to be rerouted or dealt with at some point, but the hairline was really low and like came really close to her eyebrows. But I looked at her again, and even though I'm not a huge fan of inset eyes on fashion dolls, she has really nice brown eyes. And they're not, see, what I don't like about Liv doll eyes that much is it's really easy to see the halftone screening print on their eyes, so you really can't see the print on this. So I looked at her again, and I went through the wigs that James sent. I'm still using the stuff that you sent, James, thanks so much. And I found a good wig, I think, for her. And here she is. Let's see I don't think she's going to be in the sun, but she has nice brown eyes. And the wig, I'll take it off. You can see how low her hairline is. It's like grazing her eyebrow on that side almost. So the wig is nice because it hides that very well. And also I like her with the dark hair. I might go through and paint her eyebrows darker brown, or maybe even black. And this outfit is something that I picked out weeks ago, and I kept trying it on various different dolls. It never seemed to suit anybody. And I realized part of the reason was because I had been leaving this sweater, which is originally for female action figures, so it's pretty bulky, untucked. And it just looked sloppy. But then I realized, since this is a gymnast Barbie body with their tiny waist, that I could take advantage of the reason that we all know that Barbie's waist was originally so small, was because when you're getting dressed in late 50s clothes, you end up with a lot of layers at your waistband. This skirt alone has 5 layers of cloth at this waistband. And this is somewhat lightweight actual wool, but it's heavy enough that real people skirts could be made from this and no one would think twice of it being flimsy. So that's 5 layers at the waist for just the skirt, 6th layer for the shirt, 7th layer for her slip. I will say her, well, she doesn't actually have tights on, she has a pair of made-to-move leggings and some black over-the-knee socks, mimicking tights. That doesn't go all the way to the waist, but still that's 7 layers of cloth at the waist. So she ends up looking, so there's some real wool, so it has little bits of cloth, grassy stuff in it. The problem with real wool. Anyway, so all these layers at the waist build up over the tiny waist to make it look like she has a reasonable waist when she's dressed. And I did really quickly heat reset the hands so they're a little more graceful than the stock gymnast Barbie karate chops. I haven't done anything with her feet yet, but these Skipper's boyfriend Kevin shoes from the early 90s fit flat foot gymnast feet fairly well and seem to keep in with the whole overall look of her outfit. So that's her. And I took that Steffi Love head and I brushed her hair out. It's not a great hair fiber, but it's in really good shape. It's only a little frizzly looking on the ends in one part. So she'll get to keep her hair. It's also, you know, I'm not fond of blonde hair, but this is not super blonde. This is kind of an ashy blonde. So she'll get to keep her hair for a while. And I put her on an older articulated fashionista's body, because I seem to be having a decent stash of those because I never want to use them. So I gotta start using them. And if I find somebody else who I'd rather have the body, I can just take the head off of. That's something I forget, is that you can recustomize dolls. You can steal heads to put on better bodies and steal bodies to give to better heads. I still have a problem, tend to have a problem thinking once I'm done with a project, once I'm done with the custom, I'm done. But you're never done with dolls, I gotta remember that. Anyway, I thought I'd see if I could dress her in this German style called Lagenlook. I think it's pronounced Lagenlook. It literally means layered look, and it's a very distinct, it's Lagenlook. If you look that up, there's a very distinct kind of the, some people call it an art teacher vibe, and it's kind of how I'm trying to dress, but kind of not. So I went through my existing doll clothes, and I didn't really get the look down right, but there's a hint of it. And her hair is still shading. So then I took the Betty Teen head off of the Betty Teen body and put it also on a older articulated fashionista's body. This is another outfit that I picked out a while ago, but I didn't have anybody who really seemed to suit it. But when I was trying to get this doll dressed, it's like, this hair doesn't really suit anything because it's just a big patch of purple, pale purple in the middle. It's so hard to find information about Betty Teen, but most of the times when you look at pictures of Betty Teen online, they have very soft makeup and natural hair colors. I did find one picture of somebody's Betty Teen that had just brown hair, but it had really, really bright makeup that looked completely different from this. It's like shades of pink and yellow around the eyes with these red lips. So I'm guessing there was a line of rock star Betty Teens at some point. I should try to get her hair to do this. I think that would work. A nice faux hawk. Yeah, I really should try to do that. Anyway, so yeah, there obviously were rock star Betty Teens at some point, and this was obviously one of them. So she does not have that sweet, pale makeup and natural hair that most Betty Teens have, so she's fun. But the hair is in good shape. A lot of Betty Teen hair, just because it is low quality fiber and a lot of it was also really curly, it just turns into this matted, nasty mess. But a lot of Betty Teen fans actually seem to like that, so I understand how people can love Betty Teen. It's just, I have too many dolls to love. And so the other doll, who I took off of her original Hong Kong style body and put onto another gymnast Barbie body, is this Creative Flower Princess. I have another Creative Flower Princess first edition Lizette in these boxes somewhere on a pale articulated fashionista's body. I have this one on this gymnast body because this is an unusually pale gymnast body that I long ago heat reshaped the hands, and I actually cut a lot off of the feet so they are much smaller. So this is actually a pair of Skipper shoes from the early 90s. This shoes were made for the 1987 Skipper body, but once Teen Skipper came out, they kept using them in some of her outfits. And actually, I believe I have cut these, there's hair everywhere from these dolls. I have cut these feet down enough that they can wear Liv shoes and they can wear flat foot, curvy, tall fashionista shoes. They're just, I didn't do a very good job of it there. So she's wearing tights to cover up my transgressions. So anyway, yeah, got her in my nice fall princess dress. And I really should get a roundup of all my Creative dolls, because I did have these as a kid. So this is nice nostalgia on a better body. And then I did go into a thrift store today. I don't know why. I'm not looking for anything in particular. The last few times I've gone into a store, I've been looking for something. Like I got that bicycle, and that was great. And anyway, so I went in, and I wasn't expecting to find anything, but there on the end of the doll aisle, the toy aisle, just because I'm looking for dolls only, there are other toys there. Anyway, it was this guy. There were no dolls there at all besides this guy. He is I believe Gearbox was the company who made these firefighter-themed action figure sets in about 2005 or 6. They showed up in Tuesday morning, and I got the antique one, like the Victorian era firefighter, because he had some cool gear. But they have a body that's pretty much a knockoff of the original G.I. Joe body. I mean, maybe this isn't one of the Gearbox guys. Those feet are so ridiculous. Maybe this isn't one of the Gearbox guys, but he's close. Yeah, he has snaps instead of Velcro, so he probably is. I didn't want to strip him in the store to check. Oh, Real Heroes. Okay, so he's not one of the Gearbox guys. I think Real Heroes made Okay, yeah, the gearbox guys I'm thinking of were just firefighters, antique and vintage firefighters. I guess they didn't have any modern guys like this one would be. And his shirt, oh, he has some melting. Why does he have melting? What would melt him? Anyway, so, no really, why does he have melting? I wonder what he was up against that would have... Maybe he'd had some firefighter gear that was on the outside of the shirt, that the plasticizers seeped through the shirt and melted the side of his shoulder to the shirt. So yeah, he's real heroes. I forgot about them. I think they just did, I think I've already said, I think they just did police and fire. And even though this original G.I. Joe style body is not great, especially the way the legs, the hips are made, although he is strung with elastic, not a big piece of rubber like they originally were. But anyway, these guys can't sit. They can kind of lounge. They can't sit. But I bought him basically since he was $2 to steal his body for some other guy's head, because I'm pretty sure once you get this head off, it's just pretty much a regular neck connector. So I'm... Oh, his knee is also crunched. I knew he wasn't worth anything when I got him. So... Okay, so that's why that knee's... Maybe it's why that knee's a little floppy. Anyway, I got him to cannibalize, to steal his body. They have no butt. So, yeah, hopefully I have someone with a decent skin tone match who will have articulation by next week's video. So I can't promise there's going to be much, but I hopefully will have a guy who will be able to move a little better than his old stiff-kin buddy. So, that was my week in dolls and sewing. I don't know if I'll be doing dolls or sewing more, which one I'll be doing by next video, but we'll find out next week. Thanks for watching.